need to avert breakdown of law and order in Kano State. The House, aware that the Nigerian Police Force was established primarily to maintain law and order and also to protect citizens of Nigeria. Also aware that in the course of discharging its statutory responsibility, the force must avoid any action that is likely to result in undue harassment of citizens. Recall that on Sunday, 29 January 2017, some members of the National Assembly and State House of Assembly from Kano, who belong to the All Progressive Congress, APC, were in Katsina for the Northwest Zonal meeting of the party, but some of them were barred from attending the meeting by personnel of the Nigerian Police Force. Aware that the following week, members of the Kano State House of Assembly were invited to the Kano State Police Command by the Commissioner of Police, Rabiu Yusuf, where they were asked to make statement on what transpired at the Katsina meeting. Note that the meeting took place in Katsina State and therefore not within the jurisdiction of Kano State Police Command. And at best, the matter, if any, can be rightly inquired into by the Assistant Inspector General of Police, AIG, in charge of the zone, believes that the invitation of the members of the Kano State by the Kano State Police Commissioner did not follow due process, and he lacks the power to do so. Worried about the manner in which the police commissioner descended into the political arena over issues that are purely political, such that many in Kano now regard him as the de facto factional chairman of APC. Also recall that sometime in 2016, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso was barred by the police commissioner from organizing mass wedding after the police command had been given due notification. Further recall that members of the National Assembly had, at a certain time, intended to hold meeting with their constituents to brief them on the state of the nation, but were forced to cancel the meeting by the Kano State Police Command after having been duly informed, thereby infringing on their right to peaceful assembly and association as enshrined in Section 40 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Resolved to set up an ad hoc committee to invite the Inspector General of Police and the Kano State Police Commissioner, Rabiu Yusuf, to ascertain the reason for the undue harassment and intimidation of members of the All Progressive Congress in Kano, loyal to the Konkwasiya movement, in order to avert breakdown of law and order in Kano State and report back to the House within 3 weeks. I so submit, Mr. Speaker. Justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Mr. Speaker, what we are witnessing now happening in my dear state, Kano, is akin to a son who is being denied entry into a house that belongs to his father. We are treated as if we are not bona fide citizens of this country. Mr. Speaker, you will recall there was a time I had cause to come to you and complain that I had called for a meeting in my constituency. Similar meeting was carried in my constituency by another faction of my party. When I called the same type of meeting, the police called to say, we cannot assemble. And I called the then Assistant Commissioner of Police. I told him that we have right to assemble as citizens of this country that have been given that right by Section 40 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, with your permission, may I read Section 40 of the Constitution? Section 40 says, every person shall be entitled to assemble freely and associate with other persons, and in particular, he may form or belong to any political party, trade union, or any other association for the protection of his interests. Mr. Speaker, I will move to Section 41, where it says, every citizen of Nigeria is entitled to move freely throughout Nigeria and to reside in any part thereof, and no citizen shall be expelled from Nigeria or refuse entry thereto or exit therefrom. Mr. Speaker, please, you will pardon me. I want to rely on the Constitution today. Mr. Speaker, I want to go to Section 34 of the Nigerian Constitution. It states in no uncertain terms that every individual is entitled to respect for the dignity of his person. Mr. Speaker, when I call for a meeting as a bona fide citizen of Nigeria, another citizen is allowed that meeting, and I am disallowed. My dignity, my respect as an individual is being abused. And as a group, Mr. Speaker, there was a time our leader wanted to conduct mass wedding. Invitations were sent out. Notifications were issued to the police. 2 days to the mass wedding, the police called us and said, we must not hold that rally. We requested from them what was the reason. And the reason they gave us was that the state government has written to them and they wanted to perform the same event on the same day. Mr. Speaker, even though we wrote first, we told them that we agree. Let them hold their own on that Saturday. We are ready to do our own on Sunday, because what we wanted was peace. We love Kano. We don't want to have any problem in Kano. We said we agree. Even though we requested first, go and do your own on Saturday. They said, no, we must not do it. But, Mr. Speaker, to my surprise, this Sunday, the same governor did his own mass wedding, and nobody stopped him. Are we not citizens of this country? Mr. Speaker, the Constitution of Nigeria is very clear about the powers it gave to the Nigerian police force and what they should do and what they should not do. If we go to Section 2153, Mr. Speaker, I want to crave your indulgence to allow me to read it. The President or such other minister of government of the Federation, as he may authorize in that behalf, may give to the Inspector General of Police such lawful directions, meaning, Mr. Speaker, that the Commissioner of Police or any other security agent will only accept lawful direction from any authority. Any direction he undertook and performed that is unlawful, he is on his own. I'm therefore calling on this House as a whole to stand up and see that this injustice that is happening in Kano and happening in other places, Mr. Speaker, because I am aware the same problem we are facing in Kano, Mr. Speaker, some of you are facing it in your state, like Bauchi State. These are issues that under our purview, even the power given to, Mr. Speaker, even the power given to the police, the Constitution says it has been given to them by us. Let me read it for you, Mr. Speaker. Section 214(2)(a). The Nigerian Police Force shall be organized and administered in accordance with such provisions as may be prescribed by an act of the National Assembly. This is what our Constitution says. So what I'm only begging from my honorable colleague is we do that which is right. I want to end, Mr. Speaker, by quoting Martin Niemöller, a Protestant pastor, very well known, who says, and I quote, first, they came for the socialists. I did not talk because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists. I did not talk because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews. I did not talk because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me. There was no one left to talk. Mr. Speaker, somebody may be here intending to speak against this motion.
Nobody.
Let me tell him this.
Nobody will speak.
That what I am saying here today, what I am complaining about here today, may happen to you tomorrow. I hold my case. Thank you very much.
And there is no more
Motion. Let me start with the last one, who said, why didn't we say that of Katsina should be invited? This is a letter, Mr. Speaker, from the Commissioner of Police, Kano. That is even the reason why we say this issue should be investigated. Mr. Speaker, I'm not saying anything. What I only requested for is investigation. This is a letter from the Commissioner of Police, Kano, inviting some of us who went for the meeting that we should come to his office and explain why we went for the meeting. The Commissioner of Police, Katsina, where the event happened, did not write to us, did not invite us. It is only the Commissioner of Police, Kano, where the event did not happen there, that called us. And this is a copy of the letter. I want the police,
don't worry,
whether they will say this letter was written by Aliyu Madaki, not the police.
It's enough.